called it a sugar pill. They taught the patients what a placebo was. They made them take the sugar pill. In the placebo group, who knew they were getting a placebo, they had higher rates of relief than the group that got nothing done to them.
Mine never mattered.
Because I'm taking a pill, I'm going to feel better. Unbelievable.
It's sad.
It's crazy. I've often thought about taking my little bottle of Advil. I take Advil like once every couple of months when I get like a wicked headache, and mixing in like half pills that are just sugar, and then just shaking them up and just taking random pills and seeing if I get, having Jen swap them out. Well, I'm okay. Using myself as an experimental group.
It all started with Space Jam.
It all started with what?
Space Jam.
Space Jam. Oh, yeah. That's all downhill from there, man. All downhill from there. All right. All right. How are these?
Good.
Guaranteed way to make $1? At what cost? $1,000. Or technically speaking, infinite. You got down on the last bit, right? How much would it cost if you actually continue the distribution off forever? An infinite amount of dollars to get the one. 1,000, I think, was what that one question was where you stopped halfway. Good. What's this one? You may have skipped this one. The other probability distribution quiz. You may have been like, that's too much reading and not done it. That's okay. That was the flipping heads with your friend to make money and trying to set the game up so it's fair to you. Good. How's the project?
Good.
It was good, but the last couple problems I was like, that was. I thought like I missed something.
That is the point, though. And I love the fact that JT brought the birthday problem up in class last time, because you saw now the mathematical solution, and then you saw a Monte Carlo solution to it.
Yeah.
And it was almost like this crazy. Yesterday, a student, not of mine, a student of Becky Plassman's in Discrete Math 230, walked in and said, I set up a Monte Carlo approximation to analyze the other node deal. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you guys are doing it, he's doing it independently. It's how statistics is done very often in the world. Very often you can't solve problems directly. That Texas Hold'em question, impossible to solve directly. You cannot do it. You can't imagine sitting 2 to the right of the dealer, or whatever I said it was, being at this stage of the game and analyzing the chance of drawing flush. You just can't do it. It's impossible because you have to know what the other players had in their hands. So the only way to do it is to simulate the game in hundreds, if not thousands, of trials, and then average the results. So Jen, the fact that it seemed easy was fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's the point, is that it makes the interpretation of what you're seeing better. I've often been told by poker players, it's about a 1 or 200 chance. I'm like, how do you know? They're like, I don't know, I read it in some book. You read it in some book because somebody did the math that you guys just did. Read it in some book, it's so cute. Read it in some book, read it online, pi equals 3. Yeah.
For the hackers and
Yes.
like a
Terrifying.
billion tries per second.
Yes.
Is there like faster methods? I mean, because it obviously took thousands and thousands of years.
Yes. With every single passing day, computing power gets quicker.
Right.
That is probably already outdated. That's about a year and a half worth of updated in there, and I'm sure it's already outdated. The thing is, if it gets 10 times faster, you're going to take 10 times the year off. So it goes from, say, 2,000 down to 200 years. And you got to remember, too, that's worst case scenario, right? That's if they try every single other password, and your password happens to be pound sign, 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 26 of them.
Right.
So, yes, it's going to keep getting easier and easier for hackers to hack, which is why, how many of you guys have gotten emails from COCC saying, I don't know if you guys get it like we do. We are constantly trying to get attacked by outside cyber hackers, and they're always saying, don't open this email. Don't open this one. This one's legit. It came from us, but it doesn't look like it. Don't open this one. Don't open this one. Do you guys get those emails from COCC as well? They're getting more and more clever. And that's not random trials like this. It's targeted attacks. Like, I wonder if I can get this person to click on. If you're interested in that, by the way, there's a homework problem, extra resource problem in the distributions that talks about the earnings you can make by spamming people. There's a dude named Spammer X. He wrote a book about it, actually. He uses the name Spammer X because he doesn't want to get beat up. And he talks about how much he earned, I think, over 3 years of spamming. He retired after 3 years because he's like, I made so much money. And it's staggering when you look at the data. I've got it all in that page. I'm going to make a quiz out of it for you. Yeah, please, Sean.
On a side note, it's actually much scarier than you think, because you're talking about one guy and one computer.
Yeah,
When
that's
most
true.
guys work in a network, they network their computers together, so it's exponentially larger.
Thanks.
Just to let you know.
Even more depressed, Sean. No, your point is well taken.
Based on one, yeah.
Your point is well taken, and when you look at the Spammer X dude, if you choose to look at that data, that's one dude. Yeah, that's one dude using robots. It's crazy. It's funny, speaking of bees, I watched my hive get ransacked about 3 years ago. My hive got robbed by another hive, stronger hive. came in, beat up my girls up, killed the queen, took every bit of honey in the hive and flew it away, one mouthful at a time. Nature at work. And I got so pissed, I'm like, son of a... And I'm like, wait a minute, that's just Darwin. And then I started having this discussion with myself as I was watching my bees get eradicated. I'm like, I wonder if spammers are just Darwin. I wonder if that's just like the next logical technological progression of Darwinism in computer technology. And then I decided to go take a nap. but it is. It's crazy because it's a machine. The spam industry is a machine. Whether it's cracking passwords, which is illegal, or whether it's getting you to click on a link, which is not. Yeah. If you click on a link in an email, it's not illegal until they ask you to give up your private information and then do something illegal with it. Cracking your password is definitely illegal. So, but I just love the fact that it took, what is it, 2 millennia, almost 3 millennia or something in that one example. And it got even worse for you guys because, and what's so funny is, I sent the results when I first ran that math that you guys ran to Jessie, who at the time was the lady in charge of security for COCC's banner. And I sent her the results. She's like, what does this mean? I'm like, I said, it means you're doing a great job. She's like, okay, thanks. You can save the math next time and just tell me I'm doing a good job. But, you know, that's the thing. I mean, there's a reason why your passwords are the way they are. It's to keep those automated robots from getting to them. Or, yeah, anyway. But you got to remember, too, that is a random machine trying random combinations starting at, 0000 going up to blah, 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 blah. When you guys come here at COCC, your password is set to be your first initial, first name initial, last name initial, and your 6-digit birthday. If you leave it like that, it makes the spammers or the hacker's job a lot easier, doesn't it? Because then it goes from however many billions of things down to a simple 26 times 26 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. It's exponentially easier at that point. So that's why you want to be smart with your passwords. Don't get annoyed when your bank tells you to change yours every 2 months. I mean, I know it's annoying. You have to remember the damn thing, man. But it's a good thing when you're locking your financial records up behind it. Cool? Cool, good. All right, good. One more project. That's it.
Project?
One more.
Yes.
For week 10.
Oh, we have another project.
One more. Let's put it all together.
Oh.
You got it right there? Oh, it's a false positive, false negative one. This is my personal favorite. Only because, well, for a couple reasons. Number one, it's the least understood, I think, amongst Americans in general. The idea of a false positive test result. I just recently, a dear friend of mine was diagnosed with breast cancer, just this week. And once again, the stuff in this project becomes immediately applicable to my life and probably your lives too. It allows you to analyze breast cancer positive test results and measure your worriedness about them. In there, you'll read an example of how I calmed down my next door neighbor with mathematics when she got a positive test for Down syndrome and amniocentesis exam. It's amazing stuff. It's powerful. Some of it's not always easy to read, but it's amazingly powerful, and it lets you metric what a positive test means when you go to the doctor and test positive for something. It doesn't always mean that you have whatever they're testing. It could be a false positive, and that's what the project is all about, false positives and false negatives. Most textbooks don't touch that with a 10-foot pole, and I think it's a crime. I think it's a crime, because then every time you go to the doctor and test positive for something, you will then put yourself on a regimen of drugs that you might not even need if it was falsely positive. I remember testing positive for hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism. Those of you that don't know what hypothyroidism is, this isn't it. I'm like exactly I'm hyperthyroidic, if anything. I'm not hypothyroidic. The doctor looked at me, he's like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, every indicator I'm seeing except for this test result says you're not hypothyroidic. I'm like, that's right. He's like, I don't know whether to start you on medicine or not. I'm like, no, we're not going to start on medicine. We're going to retest. And it's like, I'm like, oh my God, I want to give him the project. I want to give him project 4. Here, do this. Do this, and then we'll talk in like 3 months. But it's amazing, like, why this isn't taught to doctors. So, anyway, we'll teach it to you instead. So have at it. There's plenty of examples. I got a YouTube video linked in there to help you guide you through one. And ask me if you get stuck. Cool? Not much math in that one either.
All right.
Not much math. It's basically just setting up a CT, a contingency table, and then making sure you're dividing the right things. Cool? All right, that's the last one. Last project. We're getting there. Week 8, end of week 8. Holy crap. Forever since the beginning, but it went by in the blink of an eye, and now we're talking about chickens, one of which kept me up last night until wee hours in the morning because she escaped. Anyway, more on that later. Oh yeah, I found her. Gertrude. Not one of the, one of the littles. She was, which one's Gertrude? Gertrude's a little white one, that one right there. Got out. There was a hole this big in the coop I didn't know, and and she snuck out in the neighbor's yard. They have a huge cat. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna find a pile of white feathers over here. She's up there in the tree. 11 o'clock at night, completely roosting happily. I'm like, you little bitch. just like that. That's on the lawnmower handle. She's up there in an aspen tree. Yeah. Anyway, back to these. Let's get to this. We did one. How far did we get yesterday with the chicken flocks?
Flock 3.
We are on the flock 3. Okay, so remind me what we were learning about